Welcome back to another new edition of Windows and Current Affairs, and today we celebrate together the arrival of the first Mistral class landing helicopter dock warship that arrived in Egypt only today, that is Thursday. And today, of course, the Navy officers raised the national flag on the aircraft carrier, and the inauguration ceremony took place in the port of Toulouse, that is in France, of course, with the attendance of His Excellency Defense Minister Sidi Sobhi and the commander of the French Naval Forces and top official Navy also officers that attended the event, and on the importance of that arms deal and the arrival of course, we know that the first stage arrived today, and another stage is supposed to arrive late in September, of course, hopefully, inshallah. We're going to talk about the importance of this arms deal, those warships to Egypt, and how is it important at the particular timing and in defending to increase the capability of the military equipment of the Egyptian military forces, especially at the time that we are exercising some challenges at the frontiers and in the neighboring region. Before we start off, of course, let me just welcome Dr. Salah Abdullah, the political analyst. Good evening, Dr. Abdullah.
Good evening, how are you?
But before we start off with our episode, we have with us over the phone Major General Magdi Shaheta. Good evening, General Shaheta.
Good evening.
We were just talking about the arrival of the French Mistral aircraft carrier warship in Cairo today in Egypt, and it was not only celebrated by military officials and the defense minister, but also with the Egyptians. Tell me about the importance of those two warships. Of course, we only have one now, and we're supposed to have one in September, but there is a great deal of importance that is accompanied with this arms deal. Egypt have made several arms deals with the United States before, with Russia, but this particular one has a significance. If you would like to elaborate as a strategic analyst.
Good evening, and your Dr. Abdullah, and if you need me for just a couple of minutes to talk about this carrier, it's very important to us, and it is carry helicopter or chopper called Ka-52. Ka-52. It is very advanced helicopter. It carry two pilots and has a lot of facilities, anti-air defense gun and electronic equipment. Very, very advanced helicopter. And if I try to near what is the car, as a helicopter, it's equal about 3 Apache for everything. It's very simple word just to imagine what this the facilities or what this kind of helicopter. If we turn back to Mistral, the carrier, it's very, very advanced carrier, and attack and also working outside country. So you can imagine about 6 months outside country, they depend on its own facilities. They not got any kind of facilities, but they depend on this themselves. They can carry also 400 fighter or soldier inside. They have all facilities. They can live for a long time and to do their job for attacking or defense in any kind of operation. They have very complete surface rockets and anti-air defense rockets. A lot of advances we got it about this Mistral, and if we can call this year to military, we can say this naval Egyptian naval year, because they received these two carrier, and also there is 3 submarine, very advanced submarine also too. I think from long time ago we didn't get like this armed and this advanced equipment, or sorry, armed carrier and ships and helicopter and submarine to working with our navy.
Tell me, General Shahata, how is it going to increase Egypt's capabilities to combat all the challenges that are surrounding Egypt in the neighboring areas, in Libya and also Bab el-Mandab and also in Syria and Russia? So how is it going to increase it? In what way? What are the capabilities or the characteristics of that aircraft carrier that would help it? And why is all that fuss about that aircraft carrier? Egypt have imported many other arms equipment. Why in particular this one?
Yes, this is very important question, and this is that's why we buy this naval carrier, and also we buy also Rafale aircraft. Very important also to cover long range for to defend in our border from outside of a border. That, as you say, from Libya and Bab el-Mandab, we have to reach these areas because there is threat facing our ships and our canal from these areas. That's the reason we have to cover and protect these areas against any threat coming from any kind of danger. If you give me just 2 minutes or more, I'll take long time, sorry. If you imagine, if you're watching or follow up the recent currency, when we buy the Rafale and the submarine and the special land carrier and terrestrial carrier, the 2 pieces, we facing a lot because this deal was between French and Egypt and Russia, because there is equipment on board of this carrier, because this carrier should be bought to Russia. But there is, because of the political situation, Russian accept to sell these ships, 2 ships to Egypt, and French also approved to buy this. This is make most of evil countries around us, they got married, and they try to do a lot of obstacles against this deal, and a lot. If we watch a lot of terrorism and action against us and against Russian and against French also. If we can watch that from long time. That's the reason I think we will need a lot of obstacles in advance in more cooperative with this kind of country.
Right. Major General Magdi Shahata, I would like to thank you very much for your valuable input, and that was the strategic analyst, Major General Magdi Shahata. Back to you, Dr. Abdullah. As you see, Cairo has been seeking to boost its military power in the face of all the challenges, more than 3 or 4 years of insurgency in Sinai and fears of conflicts, like I mentioned with General Shahata, in Libya, in Yemen, in Syria, in Iraq, and everywhere, in addition to the conspiracies. So where do you see that arms deal going to accentuate that military boost?
Of course, when you renew your arms and increase the capability and your power, of course this will increase your influence and increase your power against the enemies, either terrorist or any other enemy. Not, of course, the last two ships have a special importance in that, because number one, these two ships is not given to any country. There is a type of weapons cannot be given to any country. Okay, it given is for special countries.
Right.
That's why these two ships was manufactured by France to Russia. When the conflict happened between
In
Russia
Crimea?
and because of
Crimea?
Ukraine, yes, Russia and France, the both of them accepting that Egypt can take the two ships.
So there was an arms embargo on Russia by the time of the Crimea crisis.
Yes.
And then the deal went to Egypt later
Egypt.
on, and Russia accepted.
And Russia accept that because the helicopters
Have a
is-
space, it's fit to
is
fit
manufactured in Russia, not
okay.
in France.
We're going to jump to that very, very important
Okay.
element, because
yes.
it has a lot of elaboration. You can elaborate a
Yes.
lot. But let me first talk on how is that going to help Egypt boost its military capabilities in the face
I will
of...
tell you. Now you have new gas oils, new gas fields in the sea, in the deep water. Okay, you need forces to protect that fields. You are increasing the number of your harbors. You have plenty harbors. These harbors need also, of course, protection by a helicopter carrier can do a protection for all these harbors and for the fields of gas in the water. You are now deep in protection, about 90 miles deeply in the water. This is the importance of increasing your power and your capability. Thirdly, you need sometimes to attack some enemies on land. Let us give me an example. When we want to attack the terrorists in Libya, we are using our aeroplanes. We are using aeroplanes. But with this kind of ships, you can be nearer to the 10 miles or 12 miles from the border of Libya, and then your tanks can go to the terrorists and your forces, and they can do action against them and return back very easy without sending aeroplanes from Egypt. Okay, so of course, we called the military power is your hand. When your hand is very strong and long enough, this can cover all the area surrounding you. Especially, you have a shore from Al Arish, let us say, or from to the end of Saloum, around more than 1,000 kilometer seashore. Okay, and also from Port Said up to Halayb on the Red Sea, more than 1,000 kilometer. So we can be considered sea country who are surrounded by water. So that's why you need your forces, your navy, to be very strong. Plus other things like the aeroplane fighters, like that's why you are you buy the Rafale from France.
And there is space also for tanks. I guess like 35 tanks. Or
and you talk about the ship. Yes, this ship can carry around 16 helicopter and around armored cars and tanks and around
there is a hospital.
450 soldiers with their own weapons, and you have a hospital around 69 beds, 2 theaters, and X-ray room, and in case of you want to withdraw people from an area, you can withdraw about 2,000 persons on that ship. Okay,
amazing.
So suppose you have some people, like when in Libya, you need to bring them out of the country. Okay, this ship you can carry around 2,000 person withdrawal. If you want to withdraw some people from a place, hot place like Libya or other countries, you can use this ship. It can carry around 2,000 person. This, of course, a big space. Also, it has a missile aircraft, okay, 3 radars. So also it can take a long space. Let us say it can travel from Egypt to Cyprus and return back to Egypt and return back to Cyprus without new foil. The foil it has is enough to cover a journey from Alexandria, let us say, to Cyprus, and return back Alexandria and then return back to Cyprus without more.
It doesn't consume that much fuel.
Yeah, okay. So, of course, it adds a lot to our Navy, these 2 ships.
Right. The first batch of these carriers are coming, or we gave it the name of late President Abdul Nasser. The first batch is one is going to lead to land in the Mediterranean Sea. The second one is going to land in the Red Sea, or the other way around. I'm not pretty sure of that. But there's another batch coming. I mean, the second one is arriving in September. So one is going to be located in the Mediterranean, one is going to be located in the Red Sea. There is significance behind that. Tell me about the significance of them landing in such a place. I mean, if there is relevance to the threats that are coming from the frontiers. If we focus on the Mediterranean, for example.
The Mediterranean Sea, you have 3 things there. Number one, changes in the terrorist plans. Changes in the terrorist plan. Before, the terrorists usually working on the land. But now there is a terrorist in the sea. Okay? So this is a change in plans. That's why you need to increase your power of Navy to protect yourself from any terrorist action in the sea. Okay, this is number one. Number 2, in the Red Sea, you have the new gas field. Okay, this and possibly in the future can be another discoveries of gas. So this need protection. Thirdly, you have a lot of harbors on the long shore of the Mediterranean Sea. You have Al Arish, you have Port Said 1, Port Said 2, and you have Alexandria, and you have Dumyat, and then, okay, all this shore, you need to protect it from the terrorist. And as I said, there is a changes in the plan of the terrorist in the world. Before, it was we didn't hear before, except in the old days when the parrots was in the, you know, before the progress of the science and the new speed ships and aeroplanes and so there was parrots in the sea. But this is finished. Now we return back to a new plan of terrorists to make an attacks in the sea and to the harbors. And so that's why you need to protect yourself. So the Mediterranean Sea have, as I said, harbors, gas fields, and possibly terrorist attacks. So you need to...
And a shift in plans of the insurgents or the terrorist militants, especially when there is an escalation events in neighboring countries or the frontiers of the neighboring countries. Something happened and it's always on the rise. Then there could be some shift at any time, overnight.
Yes, of course. In the Red Sea, you have many problems. You have Yemen and the problem there. You have Iran. You have terrorism from maybe from places you don't know from where they come. You have an important pathway to the Suez Canal. You have many harbors in the Red Sea, a long shore, around 1,000 kilometers, as I said, from Port Said all along the Suez Canal up to Halayb and Shalatin, all this your shore onto the Red Sea. You have Bab el-Mandab. You have many places. That's why, as you said, one ship will be in the Red Sea. this would be the center of the Navy. It would be the center of the Navy because it is a very important ship, and it will do a lot of work to protect our shores and to protect our harbors and to protect our fields and to attack any terrorist campaign or terrorist in neighboring lands. You can attack them. This is very simple. So that's why I said this is a great addition to our power and to our army.
But then some political analysts came and said that those two aircraft carriers or warships are bad signs that the current policy is signaled or signaling a policy of maybe new wars in the future. I mean, it's directed towards a different direction other than that is expected after two revolutions.
You know, some people, you want to say that some people said that this is a sign that there will be a war in the future.
Right.
That is not true. This is not true. I will tell you why. You can't take that kind of ship from France if other countries is against that. Okay? As I told you, these ships doesn't give into any country. There is no other countries have it. So when France accepted to give it and Russia agreed
Actually,
for
that was one of the questions. Who had this kind of warships before Egypt?
France.
It was Russia and the arms deal.
No, Russia didn't have it.
Failed.
Russia didn't have it.
That failed.
France.
Only France.
Only France. Okay. And possibly United States. I'm not sure of that, but only France. So when France accepts that to give you and Russia accepts that, and the United States doesn't object to that, and Britain doesn't object that, because this is all are effective, okay? China doesn't object that. This means that you are a peaceful country, and the world accept increasing your power because they know that you are a peaceful country, you are respecting your agreement, you are respecting your neighborhood. As example, you have an Camp David with Israel. Is how many years now? You respect that, and everything is going peacefully. So the people or the big countries in the world feeling that Egypt is a country who respect the agreements, respect the international law. That's why they let that ships came to you without any objection. This one of the signs that there is no war. And when you increase your power, it doesn't mean that you are going to war, because many countries have atomic bombs. Is they are having the atomic bombs because they are going to war? No. They have it to protect themselves from others. Okay?
But that is dangerous also.
Of course, but they will not use it. I have it not to use it. I have it to prevent others from using it against me. I think you understand me.
Of course.
So when we increase our military power, doesn't mean that we are going to fight anyone. We are a peaceful country. Okay, we are defense country. We are defense country, defending ourselves. So we increase our power to prevent others from doing any harm to us. Others can be a countries, others can be a terrorist organizations, others can be any. Okay? So when we are increasing our power, we are just defending ourselves. We increase our defense power.
And
it doesn't mean that we are going to war. No war. We are not going to war at all.
And there is legitimacy. It's completely 100%.
The only war is happening now is war against terrorism. And all the world is sharing in this terrorism. United States is sharing in the war against terrorism. Russia is sharing. Egypt is sharing. Saudi Arabia is sharing. France, Britain, China. We are all sharing in the war against terrorism. So Egypt is one of the countries that fighting terrorism. But there is no war against anybody. Okay? So this idea is a false idea.
Right. So it's also significant that the world have come to an end that is finally in recognition of the policy the Egyptian state is abiding, and they are in full recognition of the situation in Egypt, how civilized is it, how important is the Egyptian state in the region. These are all many elements of significance that would draw our attention that, I mean, the pole has changed.
Of course, it has changed completely. Last month, you have a seat in the Security Council, non-permanent seat in the Security Council. You will not take it if any of the five essential countries in the Security Council have anything against you. Okay, this is an example of recognition of the regime in Egypt or the stability of Egypt. Also, giving you these ships, also it gives another example of that. So Egypt now is recognized from all the world. There is nothing, it is past and finished, and we have to look forward. We are having good relation